today on 15 on 15.
Aruba signs a historical agreement with Citgo Petroleum to reopen the San Nicolas idled refinery. Plus, Caribbean celebrates its 5-year anniversary with a bang. And the Hyatt welcomes back Cafe Piccolo.
Thank you for joining us on another edition of 15 on 15 right here on Channel 15 TV with Daniela Piazzi. Let's get started with our latest local news topics. And the historic day the Aruban community has been waiting for over a year now has finally arrived. Today, Prime Minister Mike Ayman, together with the Aruban delegation, traveled to Caracas, Venezuela to sign a historical agreement between Aruba and Citgo Petroleum to reopen Aruba's idled refinery. In representation of Channel 15 ATV, Patrick Pascal has joined the delegation of reporters to report live all the details of this historical signing event.
On Friday morning, the Aruban delegation, consisting of Prime Minister Mike Ayman, Minister of Labor Paul Cruz, the Minister of Energy Mike de Mesa, Richard Adams, the consultant of the ministry, and Edwin Abad, the Director of Exterior Relations, traveled to Caracas, Venezuela to sign the final agreement between the Aruban government and Citgo Petroleum. Upon their arrival, the delegation was received by the Minister of Industry, Miguel Perez Abad. Shortly after their arrival, the Aruban delegation was escorted to the main headquarters of PDVSA, the majority shareholder of Citgo Petroleum. Citgo is a major force in the energy arena. Since 1985, the year that Exxon closed Lago, they sold various prods through independent marketers, which makes it different from other petroleum companies. Citgo has the capacity to refine 749,000 barrels of crude daily and produce 600 types of lubricants. Nelson Martinez is the chairman of the board, graduated in chemistry and mastered in physical chemistry in France, and then he specialized in England. Their refineries in Corpus Christi are the most sophisticated and efficient. The refinery in Lake Charles is the 6th largest in the U.S. and known to be very safe, and Lemont that supplies the Midwest. In the past, Aruba has had several deals that fell through to take over the San Nicolas refinery. But now the agreement that the community has been waiting for is becoming a reality. In the presence of the Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, Aruba is signing the final agreement to reopen this refinery. It is expected that they will invest approximately $1 billion on upgrades and blend 235,000 barrels of crude oil per day. The reopening of the refinery could mean a boost in Aruba's overall GDP, a decrease in debts, and a new job market for the Aruban community. The delegation is meeting in the Miraflores Palace together with Venezuelan officials to complete this historical agreement. And upon signing, it is expected that the initial renovations will begin as soon as August.
The signing of this agreement means that Citgo will run the refinery under a 15-year lease agreement with a 15-year extension option, and it is expected that they will be spending over $1 billion on upgrades. If all goes to plan, the refinery will be up and running by 2018. In other news, this week, the Ministry of Education announced that they will be giving a summer scholarship to 9 students from the University of Aruba in efforts to stimulate continued educational development.
This week, the Aruban Minister of Education, Michelle Hoiber-Winkler, signed an agreement with the Dutch Minister of Education, Science and Culture to stimulate Aruban students to broaden their horizons. The agreement will be valid for a duration of 5 years, where Aruba will be receiving this annual fund from the Netherlands. It is important to the Ministry of Education that Aruba students receive an international educational experience. This scholarship, worth 4,500 florins, will allow the selected students to pick any international summer program they choose. Although the application period is short, there is still enough time to sign up. Students from the University of Aruba will be able to apply online by sending a CV and a motivational letter. The deadline will be Monday, June 13th.
For more information, you can visit the University of Aruba's Facebook page and website, ua.aw. Moving forward, as the local Olympic tour continues, this week a new set of former and current Olympic athletes visited the local schools in the area of Santa Cruz to share the Olympic message to Aruba's youngsters.
After that, the Olympic torch made its successful tour through the San Nicolas region on Monday morning. On Wednesday, the Santa Cruz grade schools were up to receive this honor. A new group of elite athletes were present throughout the celebration. These include Olympic qualifying kite surfer Annabelle van Westerhop, top softball player Shakina Cruz, top bowler Tashaina Siraus, the BMX freestyle athlete John Fellerhoff, triathlete Renze Posma, cyclist Jonathan Cruz, and former Olympians Gert van Vliet, Nicole Hooverts, and Lucienne Dirks. All these athletes were escorted through the streets of San Nicolas by the local police departments and firefighters. This Olympic Day is a celebration for youth around the world to observe the Olympic values of excellence, friendship, and respect. It is also a celebration of the Olympic Day pillars. The next Olympic tours will be taking place on Monday the 13th of July in the region of Nord and on Wednesday the 15th of July in the Oranienstad area.
We will be back with more 15 on 15 after a quick commercial break.
After the break, we've got the history and highlights on Caribbean's big 5-year celebration.
Thank you for staying with us right here on Channel 15 ATV. On Thursday night, the Caribbean Festival celebrated its 5-year anniversary. This cultural event in the heart of San Nicolas brings life on a weekly basis to this Aruban region rich with history and culture. During their anniversary event, both the local community and visitors on the island headed to Chocolate City for this big celebration.
Since the days of the Lago refinery in the San Nicolas region, this city had been the center of Aruba. Their downtown promenade area was always bustling, and the island's locals would travel here on a daily basis for the best restaurants, shopping, and entertainment. However, ever since the former Valero refinery started losing revenue, the city's business went down along with it. Many refinery workers living in the region were laid off, others were forced to leave the country, and slowly the city, which was once the popular city center, began losing momentum. Therefore, in the efforts to revive the San Nicolas and remind the community and visitors of the rich historical and cultural aspects this region has to offer, the Aruba Tourism Authority introduced the Caribbean Festival, a weekly festival showcasing San Nicolas's local restaurants, artists, and most importantly, history. And the community responded immediately. What began as a small festival quickly became a local tradition. At first, hotels would have 1 or 2 buses transporting tourists to the festival. However, now tens of busloads, taxis, and rental cars travel to San Nicolas for this staple event for any Aruban visit. Besides this event, over the past couple of years, many other efforts have been put into action to revive this region. Over 15 million florins have been invested to make San Nicolas the heritage and cultural city of the island. These include new museums, renovations of their downtown area, and big investments in local art.
On to another note. Soon all students on the island will be on their summer break, and many have already started thinking about summer travel plans. Even though many times these vacation trips can burn a hole in any pocket, this year might actually be the cheapest summer yet. Here's why.
If you haven't made any summer travel plans yet, consider this an appeal to do so. According to various online travel sites and journals, this is going to be one of the most affordable summers for travel. Vacations this summer could be more than 40% cheaper than they would have been last year. Here are the most compelling reasons for why travel prices are hitting record lows and how you can take advantage. First of all, hotel developments are booming. An escalation in the number of hotels, mostly thanks to new developments, is likely to keep room rates at the same price as they were in 2015. Secondly, travelers are avoiding the Caribbean and Mexico. This is unfortunately due to the threat of the Zika virus, which has made many travelers, especially women who are pregnant or trying to get pregnant, keep away from tropical destinations such as the Caribbean, South America, and Mexico. If you're healthy, however, and don't have any plans to get pregnant, you can take advantage of the increased availability for rooms in the destinations that the CDC has issued travel warnings to. Even cruises and vacation packages are being steeply discounted for this reason. Thirdly, airfares are dropping. This is because falling oil prices and increased competition have contributed to plunging ticket fares. Flights are on average 12% cheaper than they were last year. So if you haven't taken a summer vacation since 2014, you will find that flights could be even 20% lower. Another big factor is that tourism to Europe is changing. Due to the tragedies that have struck Europe as well as the migrant crisis, occupancy rates are dropping by 11% year over year. Now, predictions are that 30% of the hotel rooms in Europe are vacant. Some cities like Istanbul have been hit harder than others, and trips to Brussels have decreased by 30.4%.
We'll be back with more English news after a word from one of our sponsors.
When we come back after constant begging from their visitors, Hyatt brings back their popular Italian restaurant, Cafe Piccolo.
Thanks for staying with us right here on Channel 15 ATV. This week, Hyatt Regency Aruba announced the reopening of Cafe Piccolo, a former hotel guest favorite, which is now being revived 25 years after its initial opening.
The restaurant first debuted 25 years ago at the resort's inception, and guests immediately fell in love with its selection of authentic Italian dishes, brick oven pizza, and delectable desserts. Although Cafe Piccolo was later replaced by Mexicado, the restaurant has been revived after popular demand and will reclaim its place as being one of the premier Italian kitchens on the island.
We're so happy to be opening Cafe Piccolo back up and open. In 2012, we actually did a little bit of reconcepting and went a little bit of a different direction. And Cafe Piccolo was always an extremely popular restaurant for our guests. And one of the things that's been happening over the years is they've been really begging us with great amounts of passion to bring back Cafe Piccolo because there's a real connection with Italian cuisine with our guests. The associates that work in the restaurant, the chefs. So it was a really natural connection to reopen Cafe Piccolo, and our frequent guests are just so excited about it. I can't wait to greet them all here.
Although the reopening of this restaurant comes paired with a complete renovation and new look to the dining area and menu, Cafe Piccolo will still have many authentic aspects it had over 25 years ago.
Sure. Well, one of the things to know is there's a lot of the same staff that used to work Cafe Piccolo that are still here now, including some of our chefs. So over the last 4 years, they've really learned a lot more about Italian cuisine, and so they've brought in some new menu items with some of the old favorites. So there's a really eclectic version of Cafe Piccolo that I think everybody's going to really enjoy.
After many guests requested that they recreate their favorite dishes, Hyatt decided to reintroduce Cafe Piccolo to their large variety of restaurants. Guests can dine inside to see the chefs prepare pizza with the views of the restaurant's famous brick oven, or enjoy the cozy ambiance outside by the water fountain.
You know, I would just like to say we'd love to welcome all residents of Aruba. We're open to everyone, extremely local friendly. We look forward to welcoming you here and really saying hello to the staff again and just enjoying a wonderful evening here in Cafe Piccolo.
Thank you so much for watching these very local news updates and trending Aruba topics. Be sure to like our 15 on 15 Facebook and Instagram page for all of your latest news updates. Also, don't forget to tune back in Monday night at 7:15 p.m. for more 15 on 15 right here on Channel 15 ATV. See you then.